We launched Sugar Cosmetics about 5.5 years back as a digital-first beauty brand. Now, when you imagine like 2015, the way the market was, I think in terms of cosmetics, almost 40% of the market share was owned by the 2-3 large FMCG players like the Unilevers and L'Oreals of the world. So it seemed like quite a counterintuitive and crazy idea to think that a company which had like less than 30 lakhs left in its bank account would actually launch a beauty brand that could give any meaningful competition to these large players. So it seemed like quite a crazy idea about 5.5 years back when we launched Sugar Cosmetics. But when we were thinking about this category, we were really not thinking about the market overall. We were very naive and we just wanted to build for the young millennial consumers who we were at that point of time serving as an e-commerce company that we were running. So there were about 200,000 millennial women who we were serving, and we had very detailed profiles of their makeup interests. And they really were at the center of the pivot that led us to launch Sugar Cosmetics. You know, one of the things that we started with and is still very, very core to us is consumer centricity. So we're obsessed with figuring out how we can make these young millennial women more unstoppable. So if you look at these women, you know, they wear makeup because they just like to feel more confident and unstoppable, and makeup helps them do that. Our tagline is rule the world one look at a time. So it's not really trying to cover any deficiency, but really feel much better about themselves. So I think we're obsessed with making life much better for our customers. So if any customer on any platform comes back and says that, you know, this red is not the perfect red that I actually bought thinking it would make me unstoppable, we would just, without any questions, give her, you know, her money back or give her another product. So firstly, I think we obsess over this customer and trying to make her more unstoppable, and that's been a very core ethos for us. Second, I think as a company, you know, we started with being really underestimated by everyone from our competitors to our retail partners to, you know, even like potential employees who would think that this is like a startup, you know, and we may not be able to scale. So I think, you know, for us, humility and humor, just, you know, self-deprecating humor is very central to our culture over here. And if you meet anybody at Sugar, they represent that ethos. And over a period of time, as we've scaled as a brand, and, you know, even in some stores, we're now in the top 3 brands that are available, we want to still stay humble and have our feet on the ground, because the market changes so fast that the moment you think that you've arrived and, you know, you're invincible, I think that's when your downfall begins. I think our team is just so closely mirrors these millennial women. Most of them are, you know, we employ more than 1,400 women. We also have a lot of, you know, men, like more than 300 men who work for us, but they are very, you know, passionate about the category and about making our consumers more unstoppable. And I think, you know, that sort of passion, there have been so many times where I've probably thought that this is how much we could accomplish in retail, or this is how much we could do with social media. And just seeing the team, you know, really push that bar and accomplish something which, like 2 years back, the company really thought was impossible, I think that's been really inspiring. So most of the times, you know, just the fact that these, the colleagues that we have, especially these 1,400 women, many of who are single moms, they're the sole breadwinners of their family. I think that for me is a huge responsibility to ensure that, you know, some of them like have ownership in the company. So to see that, you know, the trust and the faith that they have imparted in the business so far, that really comes to, that gets rewarded in the long run. So I think that's my biggest motivation. it is a very important goal in the next 5 to 6 years for us to aim for an IPO, and it's a stated goal that we talk about internally, because that's how we want to build the company, and that will also ensure that our colleagues as well as our investors get rewarded for the trust that they've had in the company so far. So that's number one. Second is I genuinely think that as an entrepreneur you can make a difference to a lot of lives just by the employment that you're able to provide, and I really do feel that we have a chance to be a company that's able to provide employment to more than 10,000 women. And that's a goal that really inspires me, because I think women are the future in terms of the workforce. They are the most underutilized capital that the country has, and I think it's going to change in the next 5 years, and we want to have a company that's able to be at the forefront of providing a great place for women to work at. And then of course market leadership is important. We want to be in the top 3 brands in the color cosmetics market in India, because I think to have a share of voice and to really change the way the industry is going in terms of acceptance of our skin tones being deeper, and acceptance of products that are more individualistic rather than following a celebrity. So those are some of the movements that I feel strongly about, and I think you can't really make a difference unless you have significant market share. So I think being in the top 3 brands in the makeup category in India is an important goal for us. Till 5 years back, there was no space that was called D2C. This digital direct to consumer is a category that's come up, and it was probably started with electronics and beauty. But now if you see across apparel, across footwear, across food, there are a lot of interesting brands in this direct to consumer space, because social media has made it easier for brands to speak directly to consumers, as well as the online reviews that you see on an Amazon or a Nykaa or a Flipkart make it easier for products which are genuinely better in quality to get discovered quicker. So I think D2C is a category I am very interested in. I think there are a lot of brands that are just waiting to get disrupted, that have not adapted well enough to the changes in the market in terms of the requirements of the new generation, as well as e-commerce and social media. So I look forward to seeing a lot more brands emerge in D2C in all kinds of FMCG products, and I think that will be that's a sector that genuinely excites me. So for us, because of COVID, we put all our launches on hold, and we have a lot of innovative products that we've actually, just kept manufactured and we're just waiting for the market to improve to launch them. We started this year with a big Women's Day launch where we collaborated with Wonder Woman, and that launch has been fantastic. We have more than 32 products which we've launched in collaboration with Wonder Woman franchise, and that's just the beginning. And I think in the next 6 months we're going to see a lot more of those innovations come out. Secondly, we've had some solid momentum over the last 6 months from October onwards. So we want to continue with that. So as a company, we're expecting to double in our net revenue from this March to next March, which I think is a very steep target. So it's going to involve doubling in terms of distribution, as well as a lot more branding spend. So I think you're going to see Sugar a lot more this year, and not just the millennials, but even women in other age groups will end up noticing us. And our goal this year is that you may love us or hate us, but you can't ignore us.